Hello students, I thought you very well understand the fractions and related properties and the questions of fractions related to addition, subtraction, multiply and division. Now next topic for the chapter 2 are the decimal. That is the second part of the fractions and decimal. Now first of all, what are the decimal number? As you have already studied in the 6th class about the decimal numbers. So fractions as decimal. How the fractional number can be written in the form of the decimal number. For decimal number, we have used the place value as 10th place, 100th place or the 1000th place. First of all, understand the place value and the meaning of the decimal. Now, let us take few examples related to the how the fractional number converted into the decimal numbers. If I write 24 divided by 10, this is a fractional number with numerator is 24 and denominator is 10. I can also write 24 by 10 as 2.4. How we can write 2.4? You must count how many zeros in the denominator. Alright, leave only those digits, count the number of 0 as there is only 1 0 in 10. So I have to leave only 4 at the one place, 4 from the left hand side and put the decimal in place of 1. Alright, you must understand that in place of 1, when we change the fractions into decimal, in place of 1, we have to put the decimal sign. Alright. So how many zeros are there? Only 1 0 is there. Therefore, decimal is placed before one digit. Now, let us understand with one more example. 113 divided by 100. How many zeros are there? There are 2 zeros. So, decimal is placed after 2 digits. Counting from the left, the right hand side, that is 2 zeros. We have 2 digits. We have to count 3, 1. And put a decimal. So leave the 2 digit and place a decimal. Alright. Now, next. In these two examples, in these two fractional numbers, the denominators are the complete 10 or 100 or 1000 so on. Alright, in which the zeros are already present. Now, if we have the fractional number like 3 by 2. How we can change 3 by 2 into decimal form? We have to try to make the denominator as 10 or 100 or the such kind of numbers from which the decimal numbers easily form. Alright, 2 can be changed in 10 by multiplying with 5. So when we want to multiply the denominator with 5, we have to multiply numerator also with 5 to make 10 in the denominator. Try to make 10, 100, the complete values in the denominator with zeros. Alright, so that you can place a decimal easily. Now instead of 3 by 2, I have changed with the help of equivalent fraction property. Multiply numerator and denominator with 5. So I get 15 by 10. So how I can write decimal? So I have to put a decimal after counting one digit from the right hand side. That is 1 0. One digit count from the right hand side and move towards left hand side. So 1 0, one digit is left and place a decimal, that is 1.5. Now, how I can convert 8 by 5 into decimal? The same method we can use here also. 5 can be converted into 10 by multiplying with 2. That is one of the method, that is equivalent fractional method to convert fractions into decimals. Or if we directly divide two numbers, alright, we also can convert them decimals. Convert with the help of, if these numbers are not divisible, this is the simplest form of the fractional number or the smallest form of the fractional number, because 8 and 5 cannot be cancelled out on the same table. So 8 is divided by 5 and by the help of the division we can also find out the decimal number and answer is 1.6. This answer we can find out with the help of equivalent fraction by changing the denominator 5 into 10. Alright, I thought you remind that what are the decimal numbers and how we can write the decimal numbers, or how we can convert the fractions as the decimal. Now let us understand the place values for the decimal numbers. If number is simple 24, I have taken the example is 24.05. If number is only 24, then 4 is at the ones place and 2 is at the tens place. Easy. But if the number is 24.05, now after decimal, the place value, how we can write in the place value table. Now let us understand this place value table. I have taken few in the places, that is ones, tens, hundred in the left hand side, and the right hand sides are tenth. Instead of 10 we have to use tenth, hundredth, thousand. These places are after the decimals. All digit after the decimal used this place value. So how we can write these numbers? 24.05. 4 is at the ones place at the ones place. 2 is at the 10th place 2 at the 10th place. 10th place means 2 is multiplied with 10, we get 20. 4 is multiplied with 1, we get 4. And 20 plus 4 is 24, that is 24. Alright, in the similar way, 0 is placed at the place of 10th place. Alright, and 5 is at the place of 100th place, because 0 is there multiplied with 1 upon 10. Or if we convert 0 into fractional form, we get 0 by 10. Alright, because next is 5. 5 is at the 100th place, because after decimal this is at the second place, that is 100th place. Alright, so 5 is multiplied with 1 upon 100, we get 1.05. So 0.05, so that is added and we get 0.05. That is the complete number written, 24.05. Alright, next 14.253. How we can write this number? 1 is at the tens place, 4 is at the ones place. These are complete whole numbers. Alright, next after decimal 2 is at the 10th place. Alright, next of the decimal, when we move more right hand side towards from the decimal, so there are gaps are there increase, that is 10th, 100th, 1000 and so on. So 2 is at the 10th place, 5 is at the 100th place and 3 is at the 1000th place. So this is the method how we can write the decimal number in the place value table. Now let us understand more about the decimal with the help of expanded form of the decimal. How we can expand this number? From which numbers this number is formed? 236.591. Alright, according to place value table, 6 is at the ones place, 3 is at the tens place, 2 is at the 100th place, 5 is at the 10th place, 9 is at the 100th place and 1 is at the 1000th place, because this is the third after decimal. Alright, now how we can expand these numbers? Now 2 is at the ones, tens and 100 place. So 2 is at the 100, that's why after 2 we have write 20, that is instead of 2 we write 200. Alright, this is the place value. Alright, now next 3 is at the tens place, that's why we write 30. Next 6 is at the ones place, we write 6. Next after decimal, this is at the 10th place, so only 0.5 is written, because when we remove this decimal we get 5 divided by 10, or 5 is multiplied with 1 upon 10. Next 9 is at the 100th place, so that's why we have to put 0.09. Alright, other thing we have to put 0, only the digit which is given at that place which we have to write. All right. Next, 1 is at the thousandth place. So 0.001. This is the place values. When we add all these number na, we get 236.591. If we add these number, we get the result is similar. Or we also can write them as they are according to place values. 2 is at the 100th place na, so 2 multiplied with 100. 3 is at the 10th place na, so 3 is multiplied with 10. That's why we get 30. That is this tens. Place value, that is the value according to their place, is multiplied with the digit. We get the value in the place values. Now 6 is at the ones place, so 1 is multiplied with 6. We get 6. 5 is at the 10th place. So 1 upon 10 is multiplied with 5. So 5 is multiplied with 1 upon 10. From this, as there are only 1 0. Alright. So we have to put the decimal before one digit. That's why 0.5 is written. Next, 9 is at the 100th place. So 9 multiplied with 1 upon 100. How many zeros are there? 2 zeros. So before 9, we have to, how we can write 9? For 2 zeros, we have to write 2 digit and then decimal. So after decimal, 2 digits are placed and second digit is used as 9. Next, 0.001 or 1 is at the thousandth place. That's why 1 is multiplied with 1 upon 1000. So after decimal, digits are multiplied with 1 upon 10, 1 upon 100 and 1 upon 1000 to convert all these number in the decimal form. So this is the expanded form of the decimal. These are the place values of the decimal. These are the few examples how the fractions are converted to decimal. All this we have done already in the 6th class, just for the preview of the, just for the revision of the decimals, that you got that how the decimal numbers are expanded, how the place values are written. Alright, because all these things help in the chapter 2.5 exercise also. Now for exercise 2.5, let us start few questions related to decimal. Question 1 is, which is greater? Now we have to compare greater or smaller. Any question is asked, so you have to compare any two numbers. You have to compare 0.5 with 0.05. How we can compare two decimal numbers? Let us start the process. 0.5 and 0.05. We have to compare these two numbers. Na? Place a blank box between these two numbers. First of all. Alright. After comparing, we have to put greater sign or smaller sign in this box. Just place a blank box till we are not going to complete the process. Now, change these two decimal number in fractional number. How we can change? At the place of decimal, we have to write 1 in the denominator. And how many digits are there after decimal? 1 digit na. So we have to write 0 for 1 digit. Only 1 0 is used in the denominator. Next, and the place of decimal, we have to write 1. And how many digits after decimal? 2 digits are there na. 0 and 5. So we have to write 2 zeros. So we get 100 because 5 is at the 100th place. As you understand from this also na, 5 is at the 100th place. That's why we multiply 5 by 100. And this 5 is with at the 10th place. That's why we write 5 divided by 10. Alright. So after changing them into fractional numbers, the numbers are 5 by 10 and 5 by 100. Now how we can compare these two numbers? As I told you in the fraction, for comparison of any two fractional number, their denominators must be similar. If their denominators are similar, now we can compare the numerator only. To make the denominator similar, here in the denominator is 100. But in the first number, there is a denominator is 10. So by using the equivalent fraction property, multiply numerator and denominator with 10 to make the denominators similar. By this we get numerator is now 50 and denominator is 100. And in the second term, 5 divided by 100. Now we have to compare 50 by 100 with 5 by 100, not 0.5 and 0.05. Alright, to compare two decimal number, we have to change them into fractions, then make the denominator similar, and after that you can compare only the numerator. Now, 50 is greater than 5 or 5 is greater than 50? 50 is greater, na? Because denominators are now similar. We are not going to compare any denominator. Alright, we have to just compare the numerator. As 50 is greater than 5, that's why this number is greater than 5 by 100. That is 0.5 is greater than 0.05. Alright, I thought you understand how we can compare. Let us take few more examples. Second question is 2.03 or 2.30. Compare these two numbers. Now what is the process? As I told you, change the decimal numbers into fractional number. Alright. After decimal there are two digits, so we must write 203 divided by 100. In the similar way, 2.30. There are also two digits after decimal. So we write 230 divided by 100. Alright. As both the denominators are similar, now you have to just compare the numerator. Alright. As the denominator are similar, so you are not going to change anything in the denominator. Just compare the numerator. In the first case, numerator is 203. In the second case, numerator is 230. Now tell me, 30 is greater or 3 is greater? Obviously 30 is greater, or you can compare at 100 place 2 is present because 3 digit in first term and 3 digit in second term. Alright. Now at the tens place, in first digit there is 0 and in this case it is 3. So 3 is greater than 0. That's why the 230 value is greater than 203. So which is greater? 2.30 is greater than 2.03. Next question. So for the similar, which is greater, or it can come which is smaller. Both are the similar thing. You have to just compare the numbers. Alright, the question is 0.8 or 0.88, which is greater? Change into fractional form. 0.8 can be written as 8 by 10 because only one digit after decimal. Second, 0.88 can be written as 88 by 100 because how many digits after decimal? Two digits, na? So that's why we write 100 in the denominator. Alright, now what we have done in this case? We have to make the denominator similar. So here the denominator is 10, but in this case denominator is 100. So change by using equivalent fraction, multiply the numerator and denominator with 10. We get 80 by 100, and in this side 88 by 100. Now when the denominators are similar, compare only numerator. So 88 is greater than 80. That's why 0.88 is greater than 0.8. Alright, I thought you understand from these three examples how you can do question number 1. Other parts you have to do by yourself. Now question number 2 of exercise 2.5 is express as rupees using decimals. How we can change the units of the different numbers using decimals. Alright. Now basically decimal is used to convert the units of the number. Now rupees is greater than paisa. So when we want to convert paise into rupees, that is the greater unit number. Alright. So we have to use decimal numbers. Now let us understand with the help of examples. First example I have selected for you, 7 paise. Now you know very well, you must write also in the answer, 1 rupees is equal to how many paisas? 100. Alright, rupees is greater than the paisa. And we can write 1 paisa is equal to 1 upon 100 rupees. Alright, So 1 paisa is equal to 1 upon 100 rupees. That is 1 paisa 100 rupees है उसका 100th part है. Alright. So you understand na these units relation. So if 1 paisa is equal to 1 upon 100 rupees, then 7 paisa is equal to 7 into 1 upon 100 rupees. Simple. 1 paisa 1 upon 100. 7 paisa 7 upon 100 rupees. So in denominator there are 2 zeros. So decimal is placed after 2 digits. Start from right hand side. 7 point is used. Point is, that is decimal is used. So 0.07 rupees. 7 paisa is equal to 0.07 rupees. This is the method you can convert any unit into second unit. Alright. Of the same type. Like if we want to change paisa into rupees, or we can change centimeter into meters, or kilogram into gram, or gram into kilogram. Alright. Now next is 77 rupees 77 paisa. These are the total amount is given. Now how we can write when some amount in rupees given and some amount in paisa? We have to write 77 plus 77 multiplied with 1 upon 100, because this 77 is already in rupees. Alright, plus this 77 which we have to convert into rupees, that is added by changing the units. So when we convert paise into rupees, we have to multiply it with 1 upon 100. Alright, when there are 2 in the denominator, where we have to place the decimals? Decimal is placed before 2 digits. Alright, so we get 77 plus 0.77 total rupees. When we add these two numbers, we get 77.77 rupees. So instead of writing 77 rupees 77 paisa, we can write 77.77 rupees. Next question. 235 paisa. Convert this also into rupees. How we can convert? As you know, you have to write in each question this relation. 1 paisa is equal to 1 upon 100 rupees. So 235 paisa is equal to 1 upon 100 rupees. There are 2 0. So we have to count 2 digit. 1, 2. That is 5 and 3 are left. And we have to place the point before these 2 digits. So number is 2.35 rupees. Instead of writing 235 paisa, we can also write 2.35 rupees. So this is the method we can convert smaller unit into greater unit, like centimeter into meter by using the relations. Alright, or by gram into kilogram by using the decimal numbers. So these are the way how you can perform this kind of question. How the decimal are used to change the unit, how the decimals are used to compare the number, how the fractional numbers are changed into decimal numbers, and the place value of the decimal numbers and expanded form of the decimal numbers. I thought you very well understand about the and recall about the decimal numbers. We have done few more questions related to decimal tomorrow.